feel like a new man.
Yeah? Sir!
And here we are, the Blade Barracks. Consider yourself our guest until we finish getting you registered. Feel free to come and go as you please.
I think I can answer that one. So, you must be the latest rescue.
Secretary Nagi!
Mizku. Chipper as always, I see.
What can I say? Pep is my middle name.
I ran into Doug Barrett on the way here, and he didn't seem quite so upbeat. Anything about today's flight I should know?
No. Nothing to worry about.
Good. Be sure it stays that way. More importantly, Elma, you found another one. Excellent work out there.
Just doing my job, Mr. Secretary.
Now, as for officially registering our new citizen here...
Why don't we talk inside? There's a lot of ground to cover. It could take some time.
Ah yes, of course. Forgive me. You must be weary from the stasis and your journey back to us. Please, after you.
I'll put on some tea.
Allow me to formally introduce myself. My name is Kentaro Nagi. You may remember me as Captain of the White Whale, but now I serve as Secretary of Defense here for New LA. The provisional government has charged me with keeping the peace, so all military and police matters fall under my jurisdiction.
He's also my superior officer. And he'd be an excellent person to talk to when you're ready to start looking for work.
What about a job right here with Blade? He seems capable.
Let's give it a little more time. At least until he knows enough to be able to make an informed decision. He seems to be suffering from some form of memory loss.
Memory loss? From the stasis?
He could barely remember his name, and nothing at all about what happened to Earth or the White Whale.
I see. Though, come to think of it, the entire lot of us have only been on this planet for what, 2 months? It shouldn't take very long to get caught up.
My thoughts exactly.
Well then, where should we begin? It started at the end, 2 years ago. The end of Earth. the casualty of a battle between two hyper-advanced alien civilizations. Their technology and weapons were beyond our comprehension. We were like infants, naked, powerless. The Earth was reduced to ash and blown away.
I still wonder if I hadn't been there. If maybe all of this could have somehow been avoided.
No one can know that, Elma. What we do know is without you, there'd have been no Project Exodus, and no escape for any of us. Did it go perfectly? No. But we are here, and we are alive. We survived. So yes, Project Exodus. Once we learned the Earth might be threatened, we needed a plan to preserve all her various life forms. That plan was the Earth Life Colonization Project, otherwise known as Project Exodus.
Those of us who escaped on the White Whale spent over 2 years wandering in space. 2 hard years. But we clung to our mission, find a habitable planet and settle there. We had no idea how long it would take. Or that the decision would eventually be made for us.
The xenoforms found us again, and, well, it wasn't a happy reunion. Earth wasn't enough. They wanted humanity destroyed. For better and for worse, we were close to planet Mira when we lost control of the White Whale. Inertia and gravity took it from there.
The ship had taken way too much damage to survive entering the atmosphere intact. We had no choice. We channeled all the power we had left to soft land the habitat. Once the dust cleared, we set to work transforming it into its current state. Searching for survivors, establishing Blade, installing the provisional government. Basically, making it a sustainable city.
Blade is an acronym. Builders of a legacy after the destruction of Earth. Quite fitting, I think. It's a relatively new organization. Up there in space, we had plenty of provisions, and a crew trained to handle the limited amount of situations we might encounter in our travels. But of course, all that changed after we lost most of our ship and came crashing down here on Mira. We needed food, water, search and rescue teams, surveyors, police. The list goes on and on. It was too much for the provisional government to manage on its own, so Blade was born. The idea was to have one central organization with different disciplines to fill these various roles. Its core was pulled from the Coalition military, so it's mostly former soldiers. But fighting isn't our most important duty. Right now, we have a single top priority that supersedes all others. The search for and recovery of the Lifehold.
Take a look at this. The White Whale was designed to carry an exceedingly large number of passengers, all of them held in stasis. All housed in a structure called the Lifehold. This is a complete schematic of that facility. Only essential personnel were conscious and active for the journey from Earth. The flight crew, maintenance engineers, and of course, some military so we could defend ourselves if necessary. But the vast majority were in the Lifehold. Are in the Lifehold. With any luck, they're all still there, in stasis, waiting to be rescued. But there's a problem. We now know the Lifehold broke apart along with the rest of the ship when we came down on Mira. What we don't know is exactly where all the pieces landed. Not very comforting, I know. Blade's top priority now is locating the missing units.
Ah, yes. All citizens of NLA are required to register their name, age, and occupation. We also ask you report any personal assets and take a short survey regarding your current state of health. All purely as a precaution. I'm sure you understand. As the caretakers of humanity's survival, we all have certain responsibilities.
And hey, it's not all bad. Registering gets you access to all kinds of public services.
In any case, I'm sure this is all a lot to digest. You'll be wanting some time. Ms. Koo, even I'm tired of hearing myself speak. Why don't you take our guest out for some air? Perhaps a tour of the administrative district.
Yes, sir. Come on, we'll keep this briefing brief.
You know, it's not every day we're authorized to let a civilian tour the administrative district.
Yeah. Nagi must really, really want him to join Blade.
The AD is a bit different from the other districts. It's got everything a Blade would need, all in one place, without any extra fluff.
Get a load of that Skell. Even the way that they walk is so cool. Oh yeah, work it, baby. What? You don't remember what a Skell is? That gorgeous exoskeleton that just went by? Basically like the most incredible, awesomest super weapons ever? Lasers, force fields, bipedal and vehicular transformations. Sorry, I get so excited whenever I think about it.
Originally, Skells were developed as a defensive measure to counter potential alien threats. It wasn't enough to save Earth, though. We were outnumbered and outgunned. Still, just look around you. New LA has gone from basically nothing to this in just 2 short months. We could never have come so far, so fast, without Skell technology. I'd love to get you into one to see for yourself, but it's not that simple.
Well, yeah, duh. For one thing, only Blades are allowed to pilot Skells. And even then, you need a license.
These aren't toys we're talking about. They're complex machines with powerful weapons. And they're a precious resource. We only have so many of them to go around. So yes, as you might imagine, the certification process is a fairly rigorous one.
I'm sure you're thinking, where do I sign up for the test? But it's not that simple. They choose you, not the other way around. You can't just walk in the front door and volunteer.
There is some criteria. The details are largely hidden, but basically, HQ only allows the cream of the crop to take the test. Blades who go above and beyond in their duties, and for the people of New LA in general.
So what do you say? If you become a Blade and work hard, I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time before they tap you on the shoulder.
Speaking of work, that reminds me. Why don't we check out the Mission Control Board first? That's where we take on our assignments.
Good call. Let's head on over. So this is mission control. We don't have a dispatch system yet, so Blades usually choose their own assignments. Everyone comes here and selects from the missions available on the board.
And it's not just official Blade tasks. Anyone with a request is free to post here. Businesses, citizens, whoever.
Yeah, it's basically how anything gets done in New LA, so the board is constantly updating. Just about every Blade will stop by here at some point in their shift.
It's like our second home. You'll always find a number of Blades around here, blowing off steam or browsing mission control for their next assignment.
Whenever I get freed up, I'll stop here first thing to check for any missions I might be suited for.
Likewise. And if the assignment seems too tough to handle solo, that's what the Scout Console is for. We should show you that next.
Hey, who's giving this tour anyway? We also have the Scout Console, if the assignment seems too tough to handle solo. And Elma just said that, didn't she?
Hey!
Ta-da! The Blade Scout Console. When the going gets tough, the tough go to the Scout Console. You know, to get tougher.
If you do end up joining us, you'll quickly realize just how important this little kiosk is. A lot of the mission control assignments are too much for any one Blade to handle. They tend to call for multiple members with specialized knowledge or unique skills. This console lets you search for and recruit other Blades to fill those roles for just such an occasion.
You can't spell Blade without team. Sorta. Anyway, awesome, right? So, you're ready to join up?
Hang on, Lynn. Take it easy, would you?
What? I'm just saying you'd have to be some kind of an idiot not to want to join Blade. Or maybe a crazy person.
Oh, and here I thought you might be pressuring our guest.
Apology accepted. Now, how about a little shopping? And I'm not talking about the stuff over in the commercial district. I'm talking about Armory Alley. So this street's what we call Armory Alley.
Blades can requisition equipment from any of the vendors here.
I won't lie, most Blade members face danger on a daily basis. Having the latest gear isn't about impressing your friends. It's a matter of survival.
True enough. And that goes not only for your personal armor and weapons, what we call ground gear, but for skell equipment as well.
You can even buy whole skells. Can you imagine owning your own skell? Huh? Oh, right, the tour. I think all that's left is the heart of Blade itself. Blade Tower.
Yes. Well...
Yeah?
Hey!
So yeah, Blade Tower. When we come here, it's usually to stop by Blade HQ. The higher-ups, like Secretary Nagi and Commander Vandam, will spend most of their day here. The government leaders, too. They're based in the tower. Guys like our new Director General Maurice Chassan, for example.
Blades sometimes report to the leadership here after we finish key assignments. You'll want to remember this place.
And that about does it for our tour. So, what do you think? Pretty amazing setup, right? You can't wait to join Blade, right?
Okay, Lynn, seriously, that's enough. We're not here to make a sales pitch. We just want you to have all the facts so you can make an informed decision to join us, or not. Now that you've seen where and how we work, hopefully it made a good impression, but your decision will be just that, your decision. In any case, let's head back to the barracks. Secretary Nagi will be waiting.
Yeah?
Honey, we're home.
Yes, very amusing.
Who wants a fresh cup of tea?
Thank you, Ms. Gu, but I can't stay long. I just wanted to pass along a request from your commanding officer.
Commander Vandam? Does it have anything to do with our new arrival?
Correct. He stopped by while you were out on your tour. He said he'll come back, but that I shouldn't wait to ask you.
Here we go. I bet I can guess.
You probably can. He wants to fast-track our new friend here for blade duty with a training assignment. What in the hell are we waiting for? As he put it.
The commander does have a way with words.
Makes even my pitch sound smooth.
I explained about the memory issues, but he didn't see it as a problem. And to be honest, given our current need for blade recruits, I can't say I entirely disagree.
Hey, it's not me you need to convince. Blade service is voluntary, remember?
Of course, and I would never force or coerce anyone. Well, friend, what do you say? Can we count on you to do your part? I knew you'd make the right choice. Welcome to the organization. Elma, he can start on your team. You'll begin training immediately.
Yes, Mr. Secretary. With pleasure.
All right. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club.
Now then, let's discuss that training assignment. We've decided to start you out on a probe installation, just to get your feet wet.
I guess we should back up a bit. Here in New LA, we're using a specialized computer system called Frontier Nav to help us deploy a sensor grid across Mira. A network of data probes that allows us to monitor conditions and collect all kinds of information about the planet.
Expanding that grid and filling in the blind spots is one of Blade's highest priorities. Here, take a look at this. What you're seeing on screen is a terrain map that includes New LA and the surrounding landmass. As you can see, we've divided the area into a series of hexagonal blocks. We call these blocks segments, and together they form our grid. We determined this was the most efficient pattern, given the limited range of our probes. Based on it, we know exactly where we need the probes to go. Now we just have to install them.
The sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. The Frontier Nav probes can also detect the general locations of living things in the vicinity. Which comes in handy if we need to track down a Blade or another citizen.
Yes, quite handy indeed. So for this first exercise, you'll be heading here, to that white segment. Go there, install the data probe, and then come back home.
Got it. East of the city.
In that case, we can take the East Gate out of the administrative district, right? We should be there in no time.
I'll leave the details on the data probe installation procedure to you, Roma.
Of course, Mr. Secretary. All right, you two, shall we?
Yeah! Training or not, let's go install the hell out of that probe! Man, am I glad we pulled an assignment to the east of the city this time. It'd be a long walk all the way back over to the West Gate.
Hold on. Are we even sure the East Gate will be open? Last I heard, it was still on lockdown from all the high-level indigent activity.
It was, but they just lowered the threat level earlier today. The gates are officially open for business. One of our teams must have gone out there and kicked some furry indigent butt, huh?
Wouldn't surprise me at all. Irina's team is one of our best.
How does he know Irina and Gwyn?
We ran into them just before we met up with you. They were on their way out to an assignment.
Well, then that settles it. It must have been them, right? Man, forget this amateur hour probe baloney. Those guys are where the action's at.
I'll try not to take that personally. But enough talk. We've got our mission to deal with. Let's head out.
Roger. That probe isn't gonna install itself. Let's get to the East Gate, shall we?
Open fire! Follow me!
Target incredible!
Shadow strike!
What
Side enemies destroyed! Move in and strike!
Okay! Here comes the pain!
Sliding slinger!
This team never loses!
We got him. Let's move.
We can do this!
Locked and loaded.
Engaging. Lay down the fire.
I've got you
Assault hammer! First in, first to win. Attack!
Lay down some cover fire!
Side slash! Sliding slinger! Bandage destroyed. Move in and strike.
This team never loses.
We got him. Let's move.
Open fire! Follow me!
Target in sight.
Fire carnival!
Assault hammer! Flinch! Flame grenade!
Side slash! Early bird. Appendage destroyed. Move in and strike. Sliding slinger. That did it. Move in and keep the rhythm going. Side slash.
This team never loses.
We got him. Let's move.
What the hell happened here? You don't think that one Sinicula could have killed all these simius?
Unless
Unless... what?
this is bad.
What's bad? I don't follow you.
That Sinicula. It's a tyrant.
Huh? But it looks just like any other Sinicula.
Think about it. Your typical simius is way higher up on the food chain than your typical Sinicula, right? Usually we'd find one simius standing over 3 or 4 Sinicula corpses. But here, the tables have been turned. And I don't see a single trace of any other indigents in the area. There's only one explanation. That Sinicula is a tyrant.
Let me check the Blade Report database. If there's a tyrant this close to the city, someone must have run across it. Bingo. There was a Sinicula tyrant sighted not too long ago, but it was a couple of segments further out.
It could have followed the blade that spotted it back towards New LA, or come here to feed, or who knows what.
That's crazy. I can't believe there's a tyrant right on our doorstep, and HQ isn't doing a thing about it.
Well, don't forget why they sent us here in the first place. Frontier Nav's range is still limited.
Oh, right. They couldn't track it if there's no local probe. They must have lost it when it went off the grid. The Tyrant designation is given to creatures that pose a special threat in one way or another. That doesn't always mean raw strength. Some Tyrants will actually register as low rank when you find them out in the field and engage them in combat.
But don't let that fool you. If a creature shows up as a tyrant, you can be sure it's got at least one nasty trait or ability to speak of. The system can't account for everything, though, so don't let your guard down, no matter what rank it assigns. Even some of Blade's very best teams have come back with serious injuries after running into a tyrant in the field. If they come back at all. As long as you understand the risks involved. Lynn?
Count me in. The same goes for everyone in New LA, but if we're gonna settle here on this planet, we're gonna have to get used to dealing with tyrants now and then. Besides, if I need to, I can always run away while it's busy chewing on one of you guys.
Fair enough. But don't push it, okay? Either of you. If we can take it down, great, but if not, even just luring it away would be a moral victory. As long as we buy enough time to install the probe, we can use Frontier Nav to track it, or any other tyrant that comes this close to the city from now on. Just make sure you're ready before we attack. This'll be tougher than anything else we've faced. Nice work, Lynn. You fought well. You did too. Now let's get down to business and install that data probe. If we stay here for long, there's no telling what other playmates might show up. This beam of light indicates a frontier nav site. It marks the ideal spot to bury the probe.
Okay, the probe should be ready for insertion. I'll just boot it up.
Thanks, Lynn. The top half of the cylinder contains the probe itself. The bottom half is a laser. It dissolves the soil so the probe can burrow to the proper depth. We tried just planting them on the surface at first, but we kept running into problems with the local wildlife damaging the goods. Burying them is going to save us all a lot of time and headaches in the long run. We all set?
Yes, ma'am. Whenever you're ready.
Why don't you do the honors? You can launch it right from your comm device. Give it a try. Good. Now we just need to give it a minute to reach the target depth.
And installation complete. We are now online with a solid connection to Frontier Nav.
Excellent. See? At the end of the day, there's really not much to it. The hardest part was calculating the ideal probe locations. We need them spread out evenly to maximize data collection.
Yep, planting probes is easy. And the more we plant, the more likely we are to find missing crew. So anytime you see a probe site, there's no excuse not to plant that sucker.
That'll do it for your training. Let's head back to the barracks and report to Secretary Nagi. That's true on any planet.
Looks like we're gonna have to buckle down.
Ask questions later.
Okay, here comes the
Shadow
pain.
Strike! Carnival!
Scream edge!
Infuriate!
Side slash slit edge! Upper hand! Sliding nice! Move in and do some damage.
I'm sorry, guys.
Shadow strike!
Damn, they got the drop on us. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Commander Vandam.
Well, now, look what the cat dragged in.
Sorry we missed you last time. We could have come to meet you at HQ, you know.
Indeed. I suggested as much. Twice.
And we know how much I enjoy being told what to do. Anyway, I hear you tangled with a tyrant, way out of your league, on a training mission, no less. That was reckless, and goddamn magnificent.
So, Commander, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit here today?
Well, I can't just ask Nagi to do everything for me. I'd be out of a job.
Hey, I delivered you the new recruit, didn't I?
Yeah, you won the bet. Don't worry about it, all right? I'll settle up with you later. You know I'm good for it.
The bet?
I'm sure I'm needed elsewhere. If you'll all excuse me, Commander.
Well, that wasn't obvious at all.
Huh. Look at you two. I swear, you're like two children excited about a new toy.
Look who's talking. I don't recall ever seeing you file a request to personally train a rescue before.
Is that so odd?
It is before we'd even asked him to become a blade, little Miss Stick in the Rear.
Usually I ask when I don't get your slang expressions, but something tells me to just let that one go.
Enough about that. Where are your manners, anyway? I still haven't been introduced to our new recruit here.
Commander Vandam is Blade's top officer.
In a past life, I was chief engineer on the White Whale. Same idea, basically. Someone has a problem, I fix it. You follow? Huh. Not much for conversation, are you?
So you still haven't told us why you're here. From the look of things, I'm guessing this isn't a social call.
You don't think?
No. So let's cut the crap and get down to business.
Ha! Sounds like you're learning my expressions just fine, Elma. Anyway, first we need Chatty Cathy here to choose a division and pull an assignment. Whoa there, Itchy Trigger. I know you're just chafing at the bit to run out there and grab the world by its tail, but you need to choose a division first. Once that's all hashed out, we can get into detail about what your first assignment's gonna be.
Pretty much everyone in New LA works for Blade, in one of several different fields. Helping to explore Mira, or to maintain order in the city, or, well, you remember Nagi's speech, right? There are 8 different fields in all, and each one has its own branch within Blade. Officially, they're called divisions. Naturally, you'll want to choose one that best suits your personality and your talents.
Let's start with the Pathfinders. Pathfinder's #1 responsibility is planting data probes, like you did on your training mission. It may not be the sexiest job, but important? You bet your ass it's important. We've only been on Mira 2 months. We don't know jack about this place. The more probes we install, the faster we can get our bearings here and give ourselves a fighting chance.
We've already detailed how important it is we expand the Frontier Nav network ASAP. So, for the time being, I'll just remind you of the highlights. It helps us keep Blade safe. It helps us keep the city safe. And most important of all, it's the key to locating the missing parts of the Lifehold and recovering the rest of the human race.
Okay, next up, Interceptors. You met Akalov and Evans, right? Irina and Gwen, this is their division. Interceptors have one main duty. Protect New LA and everyone in it from the wildlife here on Mira. Right now, this is probably our busiest division. Interceptors ride shotgun for the research eggheads, they escort VIPs around, and they help any other idiots who get caught out there with their pants down.
Next are the Harriers. Remember Doug Barrett, the Skell pilot conducting the test flight with Lynn? He's part of the Harriers. If you think of the Interceptors as defense, Harriers would be New LA's offense. They specialize in preemptive strikes on clear and obvious threats. But only on clear and obvious threats. They're not meant to go out and just blast any indigen that moves.
And you got your Reclaimers. These guys are in charge of finding the other pieces of the White Whale. Among other things, that is. Including anything of ours left behind after a battle. Skell debris, weapons, personal effects. It can get a bit morbid, frankly, but it's gotta be done. Until we're up and running here on Mira, and have this place completely figured out. Everything we brought from Earth needs to be treated like it's irreplaceable. Also, the search for the Lifehold. That's mostly on the Reclaimers.
Next, Curators. Curators are the first to scout ahead to unexplored territory, bringing back whatever samples they can get their hands on. Fruits, bugs, sticks and stones, you name it. It's not all picking berries, though. Being a curator also means being the first to encounter unknown indigens.
Next? All right, prospectors. Prospectors do, well, prospecting. They poke around, looking for minerals, resources, and whatnot. Things we need for everyday life here. We packed all the essentials we could on the White Whale, but that won't last forever. We need to be able to replenish our water and fuel if we want to survive. And sooner or later, we're gonna have to figure out how to replace things from scratch. From the socket on a Skell's knee joint, right down to the frying pan in Lynn's kitchen. Without these guys busting their butts, we'd have no future to speak of.
Next up, Outfitters. All of our ground gear and Skell weaponry is developed in conjunction with private arms manufacturers, or AMs. Outfitters are Blade's way of supporting these AMs. They'll seek out anything that might inspire new weapon ideas, and even assist with testing new prototypes.
Finally, the Mediators. These are the folks who keep everything hunky-dory with John and Joan Q public. Any problems a civvy has, they come to Mediators. Fight with your neighbor? Mediators. Lost cat? Mediators. It's not a division for everyone. You need to be a jack of all trades, and a people person. Someone with my charming personality? Probably not the best mediator. But if you got what it takes, it's a clutch role, keeping things cool on the home front.
All right, so I think that's all 8 divisions. Any idea which one you'd like to join? Don't fret about it too much. Whichever you choose, you still have a lot of freedom in how you operate. Mediators can still get out there and mix it up, hunt indigens, whatever. And if a Harrier wants to take a break and settle an argument, that's their prerogative too. To be honest, even though it's sort of frowned upon, you can actually change your division whenever you like. So there's really no reason to stress about this. All right, you ready to choose?
Yeah, and? We're on pins and needles here.
Then it's settled?
Thank God that's over. By the power invested in me, yada yada, you're officially a Blade.
Congrats, and welcome.
I know you're gonna do great.
Now for the job. Let's get down to brass tacks. Nelson's team has gone missing. Last contact we had, they were installing a data probe out in eastern Primordia. Then, nothing.
Nelson. Pathfinders, right?
Are we talking indigents here or what?
Your guess is as good as mine, but they did have a skell with them. You'd think they could hold their own, or at least run away.
Alright, we're on it. We'll head to their last known location and go from there.
Report whatever you find ASAP.
Of course. Let's move out.
Roger that.
One, two, three, four.
Hey,
Now then.
One, two, three, four.
Flame grenade!
Sliding!
Assault hammer! Slit edge!
Side nice! Move in and do some damage! Use an aura! Get control of the battle!
Flame grenade! This is nothing. It's all on me now.
You guys, take it from me.
I'm sorry, guys.
Not even a distant land, we're stuck on a whole different planet. No peace looking at the sky, trouble's always all around, so we stay quick with the guns and cannons. Standing as long as we can.
What?
They've seen us. We should weaken them just to be safe.
Sliding slinger!
Flame grenade!
Shadow strike!
Flame blow!
I owe
That's
you
what
one.
I need. Assault hammer!
Move in and strike! Sliding slinger! Scream edge!
Victory is ours!
We got it. Let's move. It didn't have to be like this.
Open fire! Follow me!
Hard line of sight!
Flame grenade!
Shadow strike! Nice. Move in and do some damage.
Okay. Here comes the pain!
Side slash appendage destroyed. Move in and strike.
Okay. Here comes the pain!
Upper hand. Slide. Nice.
This team
Move in
never
and do
loses.
some damage.
Let's keep it up. Punch first. Ask questions
Early
later.
bird.
Fire carnival.
Now, my turn.
Flame grenade!
Flame blow.
Thanks for the backup.
Side slash.
Assault hammer! Didn't see that coming. Come
Sliding
on!
slinger. Scream edge. Nice. Move in and do some damage. Shadow strike.
Wild dance.
Side slash.
Close in.
Okay. Here comes the pain!
Not even a distant land,
Fire
we're stuck
carnival.
on a
Melee
whole
attack.
different planet. No peace looking at the
Excellent
sky.
strategy.
I'll get the jump on him. Attack up close!
Watch me lay into it.
Shadow strike.
Fire
Sliding
carnival.
slinger. Now, melee attacks. Move in and keep the rhythm going. Upper hand.
Here's a good spot.
why they even bother.
All right. Feel like a new man.
My pizza got better.
Open fire. Follow me.
Shadow strike. Cover fire.
Side slash!
Wild dance.
Slide.
Top slinger. Close in.
Recuperate. Assault hammer. Swing it.
Side! Move in and do some damage.
Flame grenade.
Sliding slinger! Screen edge! Upper hand!
Here's a good spot. Open fire.
Distant land, we're stuck on a hole.
Side! Move in and do some damage.
Troubles always all around.
Sliding
Okay.
slinger!
Help the pain.
Shadow strike!
Dealing with lives.
We handled that one well.
Cover fire.
Excellent strategy.
We can win if we go all out.
I'm good to go.
Flame grenade.
Shadow strike! Sliding slinger!
Assault hammer.
Screen edge!
Now, close in and clean up.
Side slash! Upper hand! Shadow strike!
Flame grenade.
Sliding slinger!
Thanks for the backup.
Now, melee attacks! Side slash! Shadow strike!
Flame grenade.
Sliding slinger!
Assault hammer.
Side slash!
Now,
Upper
close in
hand!
and clean up.
Now, my turn! Shadow strike! Catch me up!
Flame grenade.
Side slash!
Didn't see that coming. Gun him down.
Upper hand! Sliding slinger! Screen edge! They're tough. Catch me up! Shadow strike!
Flame grenade.
Side slash! I have to stay in this. Help me!
Oh, things go on.
Use an aura! Get control of your aura!
done.
They're off guard. Stagger them with a melee attack.
Fire Carnival!
Flame grenade!
Sliding! Sling 'em! Shadow strike!
It's
Off
dead.
balance!
Shit. I need healing.
Let me catch myself.
Thanks for the backup.
Trash talk.
Side slash! Upper hand! Move in and keep your rhythm going. Sliding! Sling 'em!
Flame grenade!
Whoa!
Shadow strike!
Yes! Hit him again for me!
Early
Fire
burn!
Carnival!
Well played. I'll take it down. Flame grenade!
Stop.
Hit harder!
Wanna see it dark matter, every minute matters. Live a while for the live shatter, see it go scatter. It's late for out, we can handle them. It's all on me, then pay but expecting hard to accept it. Getting marked with death, seeking friends, smash the dark, possessed with the thought inside. Still in the body and wrapped, so only a shell is left. Witness the hell in the flesh, I fight to the death. Screaming, where's the relief? Maybe no more sleep. All swallowed in grief, images start to stalk like a beast. I hear voices, but no one talking to me.
Inside and washing away my peace of
Hey!
Strength comes from experience. That's true on any point. Damn. I knew we would have heard from them by now.
It was definitely fighting something. But this damage, it's not the usual claw or bite marks.
No signs of the team. If they were eaten, we'd know it. So did they walk away, or were they taken? Right. Either way, they couldn't have gotten very far. Let's keep looking.
Hold up, Elma. Check this out. I'm picking up an Earth-based IFF signal coming from that direction. It's Pathfinder.
That thing over there, maybe?
It doesn't look natural, does it?
No, it doesn't. It looks like trouble.
And look at this. I'm picking up readings for other life forms, too. Multiple signals, moving around inside the structure. Elma, you don't think...
I think you're right. Look at their movements. They're controlled, orderly. They're definitely not wild animals. Now the question is, are they native to Mira? Or are they visitors like us? And if so, from where?
You think it's one of the forces that destroyed Earth?
Let's not jump to any conclusions. It's a big universe out there. Of course, we shouldn't rule it out either.
Should we call this into HQ?
Yes, but not from here. If we're picking up their signals, they might be close enough to intercept ours.
You there! Drop your weapons!
Stay calm. We don't want to provoke them.
Earth aliens! Surrender! Now!
They know about Earth? You may have been right after all, Lynn.
What are you doing?
It's okay, Lynn. Just stand down. I'm not sure why, but somehow they're able to communicate with us.
Meaning?
Meaning we need to know if diplomacy is a viable option.
Roger that.
We come in peace, and we're willing to negotiate. If you have any Earth alien prisoners, we'd ask the conditions for their release. If you don't, we'll leave you in peace.
No negotiations. No conditions. We have our orders. All Earth aliens must die.
Didn't have to be like this.
We should weaken them.
Shadow strike!
Fire! Fire!
Assault hammer! Split edge!
Sky knife! Move in and do some damage!
Flame grenade!
Use an aura! Get control of the battle! Sky slash! Upward hand!
Flame grenade!
Move in and keep the rhythm going! Sky slash!
Assault hammer!
Shadow strike! Sliding slinger!
Recuperate!
Sky slash! Shadow strike! Scream edge!
So much for the diplomatic approach. What's the deal with wanting us all dead, anyway?
Yeah, I wonder. They did mention they were following orders. Maybe someone higher up their chain of command would be willing to negotiate. Lynn, can you give us an approximate location for that IFF signal?
Let's see. Seems to be originating from that building over there.
Then we'd better get moving. There's no time to lose.
Open fire! Follow me!
Target in sight! Shadow strike!
Flame grenade!
Side strike! Reinforcements! Watch out!
Assault hammer!
Early burn!
Blast before they get up!
Upward hand! Target in sight!
Flame grenade!
That's it! Move in and keep the rhythm going!
Where do they all come from?
Touch me up!
Keep forward. Please.
Fly nice! Move in and do some damage!
This is wearing me down.
It's all
I'm
on
not
me
gonna
now.
make it. Sorry.
Please. This is nothing. We can do this!
Let's see what you've got.
Fire carnival!
Shadow strike! Side slash! Slide! That should have dented her. Move in and keep the rhythm going.
I can't move! Assault hammer!
Shadow strike! Sliding slinger! Side slash!
Flame grenade! Now
Appreciate
that's what I need.
Can't move!
Upward hand!
Didn't see that coming. Gun him down!
I'll take it down!
Green edge! Shadow strike!
Flame grenade!
Slinger!
Didn't see that coming. Gun him down! I can't move!
Side slash!
Assault hammer! Recuperate! Assault hammer! First in, first and now it's my turn!
Fire carnival!
Flame grenade!
Sliding slinger! Green edge! Side slash! Shadow strike! Blast! Move in and do some damage! Sliding slinger! Wild Stab! Side slash! Fire spark!
Victory is ours!
Hope I didn't get in the way. Level up! I think even my cooking got better.
Open fire! Follow me!
Fire!
Assault hammer!
Shadow strike!
Flame grenade!
Side slash!
Split edge!
Slide ice! Move in and do some damage. Green edge!
Alright, you're in for it!
Upward hand! Shadow strike! Side ice! Move in and do some damage.
Okay, here comes the storm! Need strength!
Blast! Fire carnival!
Assault hammer! Split edge!
Thermal payload! Side ice! Move in and do some damage. Shadow strike! Sliding slinger!
Flame grenade!
Wild smash!
dead. You killed them all. In cold blood.
Fortune did not smile upon them today.
Nelson.
You filthy Earth aliens do not belong on this planet.
You seem more fluent than the others. Are you in charge?
I am called Glennar. I command this squad, Earth alien. Now it is time for you to surrender.
Hello, Glennar. I am called Elma, and I command this squad. If this planet is your home, we apologize for intruding. We crash-landed here after our ship was damaged in an attack by unknown adversaries. We were hoping we could negotiate a peaceful settlement in exchange for our friends, but...
Peaceful settlement? Your words are wasted on us. All we can promise Earth aliens is a swift death.
Elma.
Right. We tried. Looks like survival of the fittest it is. Fine then. Seeing as you know we come from Earth, I'm guessing there's a good chance we might have a score to settle with you anyway.
Looks like we're gonna have to buckle down.
Shadow Strike!
Flame grenade!
Assault
hammer! I need healing.
I should heal her first.
Yes.
Side slash! Sorry, I can't seem to get fired up. Shadow Runner! Almost down, but not out. Shadow Strike! Sliding Slinger!
Flame grenade!
Now! Melee attacks! Let's lay into it! Upper hand!
Possible.
Early surge!
Assault hammer! Blast them before they get up!
Target incredible!
Flame grenade!
Sling it!
Alien stop.
Upward hand! Armor! Hit hard or it's Shadow Strike! Please.
Flame grenade!
Side
Not
slash!
over! Follow me!
Now, my turn!
Recuperate!
Sliding Slinger!
Assault hammer!
Shadow Strike! I don't get it. Why would they be so bent on killing all humans?
Who can say? Whatever the reason, this is dire news. We should let the others know ASAP. Let's call it in and head back to HQ for a full debrief.
Roger that. And here I just started to hope we'd finally escaped all this.
Escape! Yes, escape! Tatsu also want escape! Friends! Friends, don't leave Tatsu trapped!
More Xenos? What should we do?
Stay back, Link. What do you think, Rook?
Finally, Dance of Freedom! Tatsu thanks you!
Interesting. One of the vegetables is sentient.
Talking potato. I wonder if it tastes different too. I know what we're having for dinner tonight. You don't know it yet, new guy, but I'm a pretty mean cook.
You are mean and cruel. Tatsu definitely not potato. Tatsu explained this to dumb and smelly Prone when they take Tatsu, but Prone not listen. Prone never listen. On Nopon Rue Day, Prone first set sticky feet on Mira. Especially Tatsu. Tatsu witnessed Prone abuse firsthand. At this rate, entire Nopon race in danger. Yes, Nopon are endangered species. So really, friends have social responsibility to protect Tatsu from danger.
Uh-huh. What do you think, Elma? Bake or fry?
Wait a minute. The beings who captured you, big brutes in armor, little pointy ears?
Yes, Prone!
And they're a more recent arrival here, is that right? They're not native to this planet?
Not native, recent. If friends want more details, friends must promise to protect Tatsu. Only then will Tatsu talk.
Right. Elma, you hold it. I'll peel.
Tatsu will talk! Tatsu will talk! Friends not get Nopon sense of humor is all.
So if I understand correctly, this is your homeworld. The Nopon people are native to Mira. And then just recently, the Prone show up and quickly hunt you to the edge of extinction. Is that right?
Not just Prone. Prone and their nasty, evil buddies. Lots and lots of them.
Their buddies? You mean other alien races?
Other hungry alien races. They all gang up on Nopon. They do horrible, terrible things to Nopon. Someday, Tatsu will turn tables and eat them for a change. Then you'll help Tatsu? Protect Tatsu? Oh, happy day! It's settled then. In return, Tatsu will accompany friends back to their village.
What do you think? Take him with us?
He seems harmless enough. And he'd be a good source of information on Mira and the Prone. All right. We can debrief him when we report to Commander Vandal. As long as he passes the quarantine scan, we can bring him back to New LA.
Right. Let's get that out of the way. All clear.
Then Tatsu can join friends? Dance of joy! New friends are friendliest friends ever! I know! Tatsu has special thank you gifts for friends, for saving Tatsu's life! Tatsu will lend it to friends for free!
Lend? It's not a gift if you don't give it.
Give it away? For always? For free? This would be insulting to friends and to Tatsu. No Nopon merchant worth his salt and pepper could do such a thing. Tatsu is grateful, but Tatsu not insane.
What? It's insane to think if someone saves your life, you might actually show them some real... And he's not even listening.
Friend, do you ever get lost? Tired of bulky maps and flawed memory? There is a better way. Friends, this is your lucky day. Presenting Follow Ball! Follow Ball is #1 ultimate best super secret must-have Nopon item. If friends get lost out in wild, friends just follow Ball of Light to safety. And now it's yours, for free, to borrow. For now, anyway.
Really? Follow Ball? That's the best name you could come up with for your super special thing?
Meh, meh, meh. What would friend prefer? Fancy name no one understands so friend can feel smart? Now, time for Nopon Dance of Generosity.
I don't know. Is that thing really gonna be all that useful? What if it's a trap, or boom, it just blows up in our faces?
Ah yes, that reminds Tatsu. If Follow Ball get damaged, Tatsu need to charge friends full price, plus restock fee.
So much for Dance of Generosity.
Strength comes from experience. That's true on any planet.
We can do this!
They're off guard. Stagger them with a melee attack.
I'll send them for a loop!
Fire carnival!
Scream edge!
Flame grenade!
Wow!
Shadow strike! Lightning slinger! Side slash! Side slash! Upward hand! Shadow runner! Shadow strike! Sliding
This
slinger!
team never loses!
Let's keep it up!
Can they see us?
Engaging! Lay down the fire for me!
Let's see him chew on this!
Appreciate Side slash!
Assault hammer! Blast them before they get up!
Target in sight!
Now, close in and clean up!
That's it. Move in and keep the rhythm going. Use an aura. Get control of
Flame
the battle.
grenade!
Sliding. Slinger. Side. Move in and do some damage. Primer. I owe
That's
you
what
one.
I need! Blast them before they get up! Victory is ours!
Hope I didn't get in the way.
Can they see us?
That's,
Damn, losing Nelson's team is a real blow. But the fact we're not the only visitors on this rock is even worse.
They made it clear they want all humans dead. For all we know, they may be related to the forces that destroyed Earth and followed us here.
Wonderful. I'll report this to Secretary Nagi. See if we can't bolster our defenses. Just one last thing. What the bloody hell is this dancing turnip doing here?
He's actually a potato.
Tatsu, not turnip or potato. For last time, Tatsu is not food. Now, on behalf of Planet Vera, Tatsu welcome all Earth people and offer a friendly treaty of friendship.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, we were thinking he could be a good source of general intel about the planet. Exactly how useful that'll be remains to be seen.
Oh, don't you worry about a thing. Friend's totally safe now that Tatsu is in town. Tatsu watch over and protect friends, especially weak, pathetic Lindley with her thin, bony wings.
You mean my arms? Look who's talking. And who said anything about you coming with us? You can stay here, you greedy, annoying little cabbage. I'm sure there's a salad here that could use you.
Tatsu stay here? Friends would leave Tatsu behind?
It's for the best. You said yourself your people are endangered, and the Xenos that captured you might still be out there. You'll be safest here in the city.
Agreed.
Tatsu not agreed? Friends will want Tatsu along. Friends need Tatsu along.
How so?
What? Well, that, of course. This planet have many helpful Nopon that Tatsu can talk to. Other Nopon can share information for friends.
That might be useful.
That right. Most Nopon not like Tatsu. Nopon can be shy. Nopon can be difficult. Most Nopon never trust friends or even talk to friends. But Tatsu? Nopon love Tatsu. Tatsu use smooth talk and winning personality to get friends good info.
The tater tot has a point.
Uh-huh. More like an ulterior motive, if you ask me.
Tatsu perish the thought. Tatsu intentions are pure, Lindley. Pure as snow. Lindley intimidated by Tatsu's strength and smarts, but do not worry, Tatsu is true friend.
Strength and smarts, huh? That's really not what I'm worried about here.
All right, then it's settled. Small Fry here will accompany you three out in the field. After all, we can use all the info we can get.
Seriously? We have to babysit this thing?
You're the ones who picked him up. Besides, would you really want to leave him with another team?
Maybe not. Unless we were invited to the meal, I mean.
See? Already getting along like peas and carrots. He can be your charge, Lynn.
Oh, come on, Commander! That's not funny! I've got my hands full out there! This is so unfair. Back me up here, would you, Elma?
I'm sure Elma has no objections.
Right. As you say, Commander.
Done and done. Welcome to Blade, Tater. We'll be counting on you.
Yes, sir! And it's a Tatsu. Oh, one thing Tatsu forgot to mention. Nopon are pacifists, so friends need to defend Tatsu, keep extra super safe in any battle. Tatsu VIP diplomat, after all.
And why am I not surprised? So much for him watching over and protecting us.
So, Rook, feel like you're starting to get the hang of things?
Of course you are. You've taken to it like a fish to water, just like Elma and the Commander said you would.
Just the same, let's review the key points, and I can fill in some extra details. Blade's top priority right now is to secure missing pieces of the Lifehold. You remember that much. Countless people are frozen in the Lifehold. It's the key to restoring humanity. Up until we ran into the Prone, our biggest concern was that wild indigents would stumble on the Lifehold and damage it somehow. But now there's a more pressing threat, intelligent alien races who are intentionally trying to destroy us. So, our search has new urgency. We need to find and retrieve all of the Lifehold ASAP.
And the best way to do that is by expanding the reach of Frontier Nav. The more probes we can install, the wider we can scan, and the faster we can find bits of the Lifehold.
So our primary focus going forward should be to travel around Mira installing data probes. As many as we can, as fast as we can. I can't stress enough how important this is. You still with me? Good. Then let's move on to the other pressing threat that Blade has to deal with. Hostile indigens. There's no real delicate way to put this. Any wildlife that poses a clear threat must be eliminated. The Lifehold is our future, but we can't ignore the present. We still have our duty to keep New LA safe. And sometimes that duty requires enacting coordinated strikes to solve problems before they can do real harm.
We're the newcomers here, it's true. And they're usually just out to defend their territory. But sometimes it really is them or us. And we have to make sure it's us. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we run out there and light up anything that moves. Only Blade HQ can choose targets, and they tend to keep them strictly to creatures that pose a significant threat to our survival.
In order to contribute to this cause, operatives are asked to form into squads to take on special missions. These squad missions, as we call them, don't get posted to mission control like your other, more typical assignments. Rather, HQ transmits the details directly to all of us at the same time. Basically, they want as many people to know about them ASAP, so they can be taken care of ASAP.
I'm sure you can imagine, but these missions aren't your run-of-the-mill little fetch quests. It's not the kind of stuff just one or two blades could handle on their own. That's why squads can have as many as 32 members.
And it's why we ask members to sign up to a squad beforehand. We can't have blades playing musical chairs whenever this kind of emergency hits us. But just remember, squad missions are not mandatory. You don't have to drop everything you're doing just to take one on. HQ has no way of knowing what every blade is up to when these missions arise. If you're busy with something else, they'll understand. They need to trust our collective judgment with these things, and, well, so far so good.
And I think that about covers the basics, right?
Search for the missing pieces of the lifeboat, install data probes to expand Frontier Nav, and take on squad missions when you can to keep us safe. Got all that? Good. We're counting on you.
And briefing adjourned. Thank God.
All right, well, it's getting pretty late, isn't it?
Yeah, let's call it a night.
Oh, Tatsu's so excited to sleep in real bed. Lily can show Tatsu to his room now.
Oh, your room is right over there.
Oh, it looked perfect size for Tatsu. Wait, what? Tatsu know what that is. That refrigerator. We'll go in there to cool off.
I guess you are smarter than you look.
Well, Tatsu's not one to brag, but... wait a minute! Tatsu see what Lindley did there!